Hi, welcome to another episode on Let Kids Play podcast. I'm your host, your only activity guide, Nyetta Holyfield, and today I have the wonderful Precious Williams with me.
Hi, y'all.
She's a mommy wellness coach. And I'm so excited to have her on the episode because as we go into this holiday season, it's full of emotions, craziness, just busy for all of us moms. So I wanted to bring someone special to you all. We usually talk about the play-based activities, but I wanted to take a step back from talking about the kids and talk about how we can put ourselves first. You all know I need help with that a lot. So we have Precious here and we're going to get started. So, Precious, just tell us. So you're a mommy wellness coach. Tell us exactly what that means for you and your brand.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nyetta. I really appreciate you. I love all that you do. And one thing I love about you saying play-based learning is that moms need to play too.
Yeah.
Play does not end at 18, at 25, right? Some of us haven't seen our fun selves since we left college. Come on, somebody. And so it is okay to have fun. It's okay to put yourself first. As a mommy wellness coach, I help moms realize that they need to treat themselves just as well as they treat their children. That
Right.
you don't have to just look well or present yourself well, that you can actually be well from the inside out. And so I do run a faith-based community and a faith-based coaching program that helps you really put the pieces together, really lighten that load, the things that make you heavy and unfun, to be
Yeah.
just to be frank, the things that weigh us down, the weights. Our core scripture is Hebrews 12:1. There are some weights that are easily besetting us, and we need to lay those weights down. We need to pick up the joy of the Lord. And what does that look like?
So how did you start your journey of the mommy wellness coach? Was there something that happened in your life or did you see a need in the community? Like how did you get started helping moms?
Great question. It's like so important. One thing as a speaker and as someone with women's ministry background, I believe that the message is always for the messenger first. It's very important to not follow nobody who ain't never been through nothing, right? Because their day is coming. And for me as a mom, I lost 75 pounds before even getting married, before having kids, right? Motherhood and the aspiration to one day have children saved my life because I knew that I wanted my baseline to be a different experience. I was in my mid 20s and was not in the best physical, spiritual order, emotional health. And so I had to take a step back and realize a lot of the things that I teach my moms now. What interests me? What do I need to do to get moving? How can I be consistent? Do I have the right community? I had to put those things into place before I had kids. Then fast forward. Okay, so fast forward to when I had kids, I had to put that same thing into practice. I had my own brand, helping and influencing women in general, very women
Uh-huh.
empowerment focused. But it wasn't until I hit my own crossroad. Remember, the message is always for the messenger first. I
Yeah.
hit my own crossroad. I was doing a lot of surface level family, and everybody watched me and my beautiful kids at the park. But it wasn't real to me. Motherhood wasn't fun to me. I wasn't the Pinterest mom, and I did not understand why everyone else seemed to be enjoying cutting out little crafts and doing baking cakes, and I didn't want to do it. I wanted to pay somebody to do it. Amen. And it was a struggle for me. It was really a struggle for me. And I hit a dark road. I really hit a dark place where I kept thinking, like, if I drive to the nearest state, it would take me about 3 hours to get there. I can lay down, rest for a little bit. By the time they figure out I'm gone, I would at least have gotten some time to myself. And it was a
That's sweet.
scary place to be. And
Yeah.
I decided then, I said, as I hyperventilated in my car, it was that real. I decided that when I get out of this, I'm going to create something. God, give me something for moms that feel like this because it was such a lonely place. No one understood. Everyone expected you to just be happy, thankful, blessed. You look great. You have a great husband. Your husband helps. All of these things, children are a blessing. All of those things can be true and you can still be burnt out and you
Yeah.
can still be overwhelmed and you can still be last, if not off of the list in your family. And that's how Mommy Wellness began to plant the seed for me. I didn't follow it to several years later, because of my own fear, because of my own feeling that I was inadequate as a mom, or my own worry that I would discourage, or I'll be a Debbie Downer as a normally optimistic, positive person. I thought I would be a Debbie Downer, but I realized that no, it makes me relatable to moms that are going through this, and I had an obligation to share that message with moms so that they can lift themselves up in order to be the best version of themselves for their family. So that's where my start began.
Okay, so let's go back. So because that was deep, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm also it's like bittersweet. I appreciate that experience so that you can share it with other moms
Yeah.
and share it with moms like me, because motherhood can get rough, and like you said, we do see the Pinterest where it's all happy go lucky. Like I always say, motherhood is bittersweet, and it's a roller coaster because there are ups and downs and there are happy moments. So what exactly was your message when you were in the car and you were like, hey, I just need something? Was it like, I need to share this with other moms as far as the emotional wellness, or was it the physical part? Did you start working out as soon as that situation happened?
No, that's a good question. No, that wasn't the start. I always tell people that physical wellness or physical weight loss is the last weight to lose. It was the mental and emotional weight loss. I had to, I had to let go of the false narrative that I had to be perfect. I had to have it together. My kids could never see me cry. I was carrying such a heavy weight of expectation of what a Christian mom then in ministry looked like. Like pray it away, have faith. What does have faith look like? Because in my Bible, I see people who have faith that still mourn, that tore off their clothes, that still cried, that still had suffering. So I was suffering. I was suffering at that time. It was a very tough time for me. And, you know, for other women that are going through tough times, if you can, and especially have to just go around saying I'm blessed and highly favored, you can be blessed and highly favored and depressed. You can be
Yeah.
blessed and highly favored and have anxiety. You can be blessed and highly favored and burned out until you truly cast your cares upon the Lord so he can care for you. He can't bless what you pretending to be. And I think that I know that my first step was what my first step is for my mom. I had to lighten my load. I created a L.I.F.T framework 2 years after that whole experience that starts with the L, lighten your load. You cannot ask a mom to do more. I'm not going to ask any of my clients or anybody in my program to work out, meal prep, do anything until we first figure out what's on her plate that has to come off.
Because
And
it's a
so
lot.
it's a lot. And motherhood is hood. Ain't no hood like it, right? And so, in order to really help her transform and not put a band-aid on a gushing wound, we got to figure out where is the blood coming from? Where's the bleed? And let's cut that bleed off so that you can actually not pretend to be happy, not just get snatched, not just snap back, but truly feel like I love my life. I love my life. And when I can't love it, I like it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so that is very important, lightening the load, because, like you said, you don't know what's on their plate, what's going on with them, and then, like you said, you can be in like a deep, deep, deep depression, and adding, especially something like meal planning, and adding extra work on me, like that takes about 2 or 3 hours. That's a lot. So I love that starting your program, the first thing you do is lighten their load because it's already heavy. So
Oh,
okay,
yes, amen.
yeah, going into your program, you lighten the load for the moms, without giving us too many details, because we're going to leave a link for you all to sign up. What is the next step or the process that the mom goes through in your program?
Yeah, I don't mind about giving a lot of details because the truth of the matter is my program runs every 10 weeks and it's only 8 spots, right? So I want moms to be whole. My mission is to reach 1 million moms by the end of my life, if God will allow me to do so. So if you're listening to this, just know that you're not alone, you're not forgotten. And my program is for women who want to get to the next level of health, so that they can build generational health for their family. I didn't see it, right? I didn't see a mom taking her turn when my mom was an immigrant, first generation American, and not being able to take time for herself because she was working, building a life for us. And so I say every time I post there, lots of times I post, my mom's like, "Where were you when I needed you?" And it's such a beautiful thing to think about, like, wow, mom, like that's what I want to see. So that's to your point about giving too much tea, because I'm gonna give some tea, okay? But okay, we lighten the load, right? And and then the truth of the matter is our program is 8 weeks. So anything that I tell you in 30 minutes is going to be the tip of the iceberg. You're gonna have to reach out and have a call with me, or learn or figure out who your circle of support is in order to keep moving the process along. After you lighten your load, which is a continual process, because sometimes we know we got baggage and we pick that baggage right back up when we get back into our routine of the kids and all of that, and life starts life and you just go into somewhat toxic behaviors because those are survival mechanisms, especially because we've seen our mothers and their grandmothers do it. But then you have to, in order to really keep up with lightening your load, you have to ignite your spark. That's the I. Because if you have something to look forward to, if you have an activity, a hobby, something that you do, it's a lot easier to leave them kids with their daddy when you have something you actually looking forward to doing, right? But if I tell a mom that's chronically a chronic overdoer who's used to doing everything for everyone to just lighten her load, she's gonna be bored. She's gonna be like, lighten my load to do what, right? Lighten my load to sit in the kitchen and hear them crying because they want me to do bedtime or they want me to do bath time. No, it was a lot easier for me to accept my husband doing his husbandly, fatherly duties, which is getting the kids ready for school in the morning, if I'm at the gym working out and enjoying that environment, right? So I don't say just lighten your load and just sit back. Do something for you, right? Just like your kids have 50, 11 activities. Where's your activity?
Where's your activity? Oh my
What do
God.
you do, right? What is your hobby? Were you the best jump roper in the schoolyard? Did you used to skate? What did you used to do? And we go through that. We have an entire workbook that we go through our entire the whole experience of really discovering what matters to you, and then introducing that to your family because they want to see you have fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And that's important because listen, I'm at the soccer field 4 or 5 times a week. So I know this episode is for you all, to my audience, but she's talking to me too right now.
Listen, because before we got on, you said something about moms of kids under 5. And I think that because I talk about postpartum health, a lot of people assume I'm talking about the first 2 years. Listen, some studies show that the first 7 years is how long it truly takes for you to get into feeling like yourself slightly, right? But we all know they just ain't studied long enough.
Yeah.
Motherhood changes you forever. I have a 16-year-old. Every stage of their life develops a new stage of you. And once you get the framework down, you can then go back to and rinse and repeat at the different seasons of life. So yeah, it will make sense to you if you have kids that you raise, whether they're biological, step, you are a rich auntie. This is applicable, and I know it because I was my first client.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know it works. You are the proof that it works.
Listen, I look at this. You should see how tattered and battered this book is. It's tattered and battered because I look at it myself. Girl, it don't even have the binding anymore. My mom's have better versions, right? My stuff is tattered and battered because I use it myself.
Use it. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Okay. So we lighten our load. We find something for us to do, which I love because I know what I love to do, but like you said, you have to get your family used to what you love to do and putting yourself first, and that goes into like the self-care thing. So is that the next step where you focus the moms or shift the moms into the self-care realm, or
Ooh, wouldn't you like to know? No, I'm just joking. No, honestly, that's so funny. No, I believe that self care, what I like to call soul care or mom care, is one of the elements, but it's not. It is a band aid. It's just a tool, right? Because if you are burned out, it don't matter how many spas you go to. It's not gonna change anything.
just for 15 minutes? And then
It's gonna give you back to, if you were a -8, it's gonna take you to a -2. But when you get back in that house, you're gonna be right back down to -5. It really is about
might
changing
more.
or more, because now you're frustrated because you're like, dang, I really enjoyed that spa. I want to go back, and I can't afford to go every day. So we're lighting our load, igniting our spark, right? And that spark doesn't always have to be extravagant thing. And so I walk through that entire process. They have 3 one-on-one sessions in the 8 weeks, where they have group sessions as well. So I teach them the entire
Okay.
framework within those 8 weeks. But then we go into the freedom mindset. A lot of people think that you are going to mindset is first, but sometimes when your mind is cluttered and foggy, you can't think. And so
Yeah.
I'm teaching them the mindset of overcoming mom guilt, overcoming societal pressure. What does the Lord say about your happiness? What does the Lord say about suffering? What does the Lord say about wealth? Right? All the things. How are you going to outsource? How are you going to find the budget? So really the mindset of saying you matter and you're valuable and that you are allowed to have fun.
And
So I
it's
have
not
an entire,
to do this. Like
yeah,
that's like you can actually do this because
you
the
can actually do that. And what does that look like for you? I do not like laundry. I don't like it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't like manual domestic labor at all. I don't like it. My sister, however, is a great at it. I don't know how we were born in the same family, but I don't like it. Right. But I could go grocery shopping if I must. I just don't like any type of domestic thing. I don't really know what happened to me. But I'm cool with it now. I've gotten the freedom mindset that said that's just not me, right? So Lord
yeah.
has given me a lot of ideas and a lot of business savvy so I can make a good enough money to outsource. I mean, if I can get to the place where I can outsource everything that I don't like to do, then we have finally arrived. Let's see. Come back in a few years to see if I've done it. But that freedom mindset really truly helps them to put together those first two pieces and say, how am I actually going to sustain this? And what type of fun? That's one acronym I teach them. And what type and how will I start? That's another acronym I teach them. So it's really giving you the opportunity to, once the 8 weeks is over, take off the training wheels. Although you have lifetime access to my community, although you have lifetime access to me as your coach, you're able to keep going and keep doing those things for yourself that don't just make you selfish, that actually make you better.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes you better. Like I am a better mom. Period. I can 98% say for myself, I would say 100%, but for my kids, better when I work out and when I have me time or girl time, as my kids call it, girl dates with my sister. When I do that, because I have something to talk about with them, I have pictures to show them, I have experience to share with them, and they can see my face light up just like I get to see their face light up when they get something that they want.
Hold on, because you said something so important, so important. So you have something to share with your kids to show them, like, hey, because they show us all the time, mommy, look, mommy, look, mommy, look.
Yes.
Now you're involved in that conversation in that aspect of mommy has friends, mommy knows how to, like, you're showing them your human side. Like, I know how to have fun outside of the kids. I know how to do things that make me happy. And that's also like, there's just so much into it. So
Yeah.
that's also teaching them like to have fun outside of your family, that it's okay. Because you know, as we get older, you have relationships, especially if you're married, you may feel like your husband has to do everything with you and you don't have a separate life from your siblings and stuff like that. So you're teaching them so much. Moms, I hope you all caught that. Like you
Y'all
that
better catch it, catch it, catch it, catch it. Like
right.
the catch it, catch it, catch it. If you ain't catch it,
He's
it's so
throwing it
important
off.
because we're teaching our daughters how to operate and care for themselves. We're teaching our
Yeah.
sons how to support their wives in caring for
Yes.
themselves. Like we're breaking generational unhealth by one family at a time because our parents had to survive. They had to work. We're still overcoming systemic racism, but they had so much systemic, as women, systemic things that have kept us tied to the success of another human,
Yeah.
right? And I am happily married, and I tell my moms all the time, "Team happy marriage." Listen, submit to your husband, all the things, but at the same time, you are just as valuable to God as your husband is. You are just as valuable to God as your children are. You are not subservient, right? We are
Math.
one to another. You matter. So that freedom mindset is essential to say, it's okay that I don't want to be with my kids 24 hours a day, 8 days a week, because motherhood, it has an extra day in there. I promise. It really does.
Hours somewhere.
There's probably 25 extra hours in there that week somewhere. It's okay because there's no other job in the world where you expect that person to love, like, enjoy every minute of it.
That's an ongoing debate because people automatically assume when you say that motherhood is like bittersweet or that you don't like it, it's like you're screaming, "I hate my kids." That's not what it's saying at all.
Right. Right. I think that those type of people typically are. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody else, but I'm saying I would just say sometimes you're projecting, right? You're trying to convince yourself of something because at the end of the day, that's not real life.
No.
Jesus told his disciples, Jesus, the perfect one, the one we all love, y'all, oh, ye of little faith. He was asleep on that boat with them disciples. They came down, woke that man up for a storm. He like, I was here when the rain and the clouds was built. What is you bothering me for? You still don't believe? He showed irritation.
Yeah.
He's going to pray with them. They're not praying back. They sleep. He's like, y'all still not praying? They arguing about who is the best. I can go on and on with the examples. This man, who is perfect, who died. I don't even know if your program is faith based, but at the end of the day, that's who I ascribe to. He was perfect, and
Yeah.
people he was called to this earth to serve got on his nerve. So, as far as I'm concerned, as a fleshly human, there are going to be times that I do not enjoy the service or the act or the things that don't even go with motherhood. There are societal things that we have been put on moms that don't even go with raising your kids, like dishes. Like, I don't like doing dishes. That don't got nothing to do with my kids, right?
Nothing.
Nothing. So,
Except
just
them putting them in the sink.
listen, just free your mind of that pretentiousness. Like, you don't have to pretend, at least not on my side of the internet. And those people that you have to pretend around, you know, just tell them bless you, bless your heart, because this is not, God cannot bless who you pretend to be.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to pretend with my audience either, because we all know that it's bittersweet. Yes, you put the kids like first in a sense, but it's a way like I create activities for the moms to essentially get a mom moment for
Mhm.
themselves to just take that breather, because some moms do feel like they can't get completely away
Yeah,
from their little ones, but like you said, just going to the gym and creating that barrier if they're in childcare and stuff like that for them to have that moment. But yeah, it's motherhood can get irritating. It's not necessarily saying your child is irritating. It's we do so much. Like
yeah,
it's so much mentally, emotionally, because you're raising humans. You're raising them to be adults. You're raising them to be caring, kind, watching their mental while trying to maintain your mental. Like it's a lot, no matter how
yeah,
many kids you have.
yeah.
It's a lot. So I love this with your program. I love this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so where does the physical aspect go into it? Because I see you on IG and I see you in the gym all the time, and it's very motivating and encouraging. I'm not in the gym myself. I do walking and things like that. But where does for the moms that are thinking they don't have time to go to the gym per se, or they don't, they may be fearful of that physical aspect of it, because a lot of moms are fearful of getting back into the physical part of it. Maybe there's some insecurities. How does that come into your program?
That's awesome. So we're talking about mom care all throughout. So before we even go into the lift program, we talk about the energy and the sleep piece. So I go in through my 5S. Yeah, so it's an 8-week program. So that's what I try to say. It's really
Program
no
is
way for me.
good.
There's no way for me to tell you everything today. But that's the 4 weeks of that is the lift framework. Lighten your load, ignite your spark, embrace a freedom mindset, and take your turn, right? So we're taking our turn. Life is a game, right? If we're
Yeah.
playing, everyone gets a turn. We're not saying neglect your kids, forget those kids. Like, I'm not that side of the internet, okay? I have some sense. They're a gift, right? They are God's creation. We're a good steward of
They're
them.
a blessing.
They're a blessing. So what I'm telling you is I'm helping you become better for yourself, and they're gonna get a better version of you. It's not anything about building up bitterness or resentment towards motherhood. Like, no. But the fitness portion is very important. It is something that sometimes you have to do before you find the energy. Before you feel confident, you have to get a small win before you can get the confidence that comes with it. So I think people look at you or look at me and say, you've always been confident homeschooling. Well, you wasn't confident homeschooling until you started homeschooling. And then you start winning. And then you still feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. But you keep going until the things that used to scare you don't scare you anymore. And then God puts new things to scare you so you can be humble and you overcome that. And that's the same thing with me, right? And my mom's. So I teach them an entire framework on how to implement workouts back into their life, but I also provide them nutritional resources, um, fitness resources, so actual videos and workouts. And then we have a group workout every Wednesday morning. So that's what you see. And then when the igniting your spark portion of it, we go into what they like to do. So everyone in my program does not lift 185 pounds on the squat like I do. Some of them might do pound or swim or Pilates, right? It's about how you move your body, right? Every one of my moms isn't trying to lose weight, although one of them lost 25 pounds in the last 8-week cycle.
Okay.
But then some are gaining weight. I have moms that lost so much of their weight and now they feel like they don't have strength, right? They feel like they're going to break up under the weight of their kids and the physicality of their life. So I'm helping them reach their goal. And so that's which one of our sessions, the one-on-ones, remember I told you it's 3, kind of goes over their fitness plan, what they want to get out of the 8 weeks and beyond. Because it didn't take 8 weeks to get to the place of burnout that moms are in. It's not going to be resolved in 8 weeks, but it can, we could definitely break the surface and start breaking some of those chains that are holding them back.
Yeah, and then the framework. I love how you're holding their hand throughout the whole program, like the individual sessions, the group sessions, like you're letting moms know that because society is telling us that we don't have that village anymore as far as family, but you're creating that village for moms to have that support, which is very important because like you said, when you were going through your things, you were feeling alone. So you created that environment and that community for moms to feel like you don't have to go through this.
Right.
Like there's someone here to hold your hand and help you and guide you and know that you can do it because you did it yourself. So I truly love that. I love that.
I really appreciate that. The truth of the matter is, I have my sister. My sister lives 5 minutes away from me. I have friends at church. I have people, but the difference is sometimes the people in your life, they love you too much, right? They want you to be happy and everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry, we got you, girl. But it's not the same. Sometimes you need to talk to a group. Well, you should see our sessions. They're hilarious. Usually 6 to 8 women. You just saying, girl, and then this baby had the nerve to pee in the bed after I had them go to the bathroom 4 times, or this child cut her hair a straight up bang, right? Or honey, my husband do not do a single dish, but love him, God bless him. Whatever. Where it's not your mom, it's not your sister, it's not somebody that's going to hold someone. You don't have to say, I love my kids, but I love my husband. We know we love you love your kids. We know you love your husband. If you didn't love your kids and your husband, you probably wouldn't be burned out. You probably be living your best life in Dubai somewhere right now, right? You love them. We know you love them. So now that that's out the way, hey, let's come to these 7 group sessions. Let's come to these one-on-one sessions. That is out of there. The pretentiousness is out of there. Let's get to the bottom of what's really holding you back. Have you done your workouts? Have you drank your water? Yeah, I'll get the little water bottle. Have you done the things that you need to do to actually be able to live this thug life that we're living, right? This is not the same motherhood that our moms lived. And my mom said the same thing. My mom is so hardworking. She is amazing. But she would tell me, Precious, this is not the same. Like, we didn't have social media. We didn't have, yes, y'all have, Instacart and all these things that help you. But still, it is a lot of pressure in a crazy world to raise kids in. And so
it is. You can't play outside anymore. You're paranoid, especially like moms going to the park by themselves. Like it's insane. The cost of living is sky high, groceries. So and then breaking that generational, like you've mentioned a couple of times, breaking those generational issues as far as letting your child know that they have a voice, that they can, voice their opinions and not necessarily be their friend, but understand that I'm the parent and we can talk together. We can sit down and have a conversation. So that's a huge difference.
The emotional intelligence. So I have a counseling degree. I have a master's in counseling and a bachelor's in health science. So that's kind of another thing that makes me a little bit different. Even though I talk a lot about the Bible and ministry, we talk about science too, child. There's going to be both. But that emotional intelligence, I'm so glad you said that. Us raising our kids with emotional intelligence and also coping with our own emotional state, it takes a whole nother level to parenting. It ain't just do it because I said so. It ain't just why you crying, stop crying. No. It's not just wipe them tears, girl. You got this. You're strong. It's Tell me how you're feeling. What's going on? Let's talk about it. What did mommy do something that made you upset? Mommy didn't mean to make you upset. That takes you a whole nother weight. Come on,
That's
another weight.
180 pounds. That's 180 pounds.
That's 180 pounds right there. Okay, that's the weight you need to be practicing to carry. Right?
One
My
child.
mom, my mom said, so funny. Julie Kofi, Ghanaian mom, and she's all right. I hope she's all right when we saying this. Otherwise, she might get me whooping. Right? We don't do that like that no more. She said, she ain't whooping for real though. She says, you guys parent in sentences. I parented in words. Meaning, like, this is West Africa. She said one word, and that was it.
Yeah.
Go, stop, yes, no. Us is like, we got to give you a paragraph. We got to tell you what's going on, why we're doing it. And I heard her in some respect that, yeah, sometimes I do too much explaining, but at the same time, we are raising different kids, right?
Yeah.
And we want them to not spend as much as we are spending in therapy or in coaching. Hopefully.
Or
Hopefully
long into their 30s.
yeah, hopefully they won't need it. Or they can do the processing along the way. All right.
We're not trying to eliminate jobs, therapists, but it's just
right. They're gonna come to y'all a little bit more ready. That's all I'm saying. Therapy will be a part of life, like going to the dentist or going to the doctor, right? Like you go to your therapy appointment. It'll be different than saying you gotta go to therapy because you've been struggling with something for 48 years. Right? It's gonna be different. And so that's a good point, honey. I don't know how we even got over there, but that was good.
Because I heard that the mom finding something for themselves, and it's almost like the saying pouring from an empty cup. Like moms pour from an empty cup all the time, but I deal with that myself, like having to make sure that my mental is okay so that I can make sure, because I have three and you have three kids too. Those are three different mental states and social emotional skills that you have to develop and deal with. So it's a lot of weight, and I know it's some moms that deal with that as well, because that goes into the mom guilt. So it's a lot of weight. So that's what triggered that, as far as your framework and how you work with the moms and them choosing themselves. So that's why I truly truly love that. Okay, so if a mom, she's watching or listening to this podcast and she's like, okay, how do I get in Precious program? What does she do? How can we, I know that we can follow you on IG, and I'll put it down below so they can find you on IG. And then what is the name of the actual program and how do they get started? Like, what's the first step for them to get into it?
Awesome. Well, the program is entitled Moms on a Mission, Building Generational Health Cohort. So our program is all about building generational health, but you start with lifting the mom, right? So I gave you the lift framework, what that looks like, but the first step is having a mom's call with me. So on my website, simplypassionatelife.com, or on my Instagram, you will see the link in bio that gives you the opportunity to click to have a mom's call. That mom call is about 40 minutes where I go over the program.
Is it with you or is it with someone else?
Me.
Okay.
It's with me. And you know what's so funny? That's the second time someone has asked me that.
I have to make sure.
Yeah, that is so funny. Like, maybe that's a sign. No, I'm joking. It's a sign that it should be with someone else. No, it's with me.
I like that it's with you, because they're coming for you and they want to talk to you. So that's why.
I am the coach. Okay. The call is with me. Yes, you heard it here. That's the crazy part. The call, the mom's call is with me. Every single one of the sessions is with me. And then the one-on-one sessions are with me. The coaching platform we use, we have our own app. That is all me responding. It's no bots, no AI. The only time that you will see another person is in our training sessions, where we have guest trainers that come on. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see like, oh, there's somebody else. Sometimes I put on my little training gear and I do personal training sessions. I do the group fitness class. But for the most part, we've had like Pilates, fitness bodybuilders, as well as like twerk, like all kinds of stuff.
Making
different type of activities, because I want to show them it doesn't have to look like heavy squats or heavy lifting like I do. So the first step is reach out to me. You can DM me. You don't have to click a link. You can DM me and say mission accepted. I know I am low on the list in my family. I ain't even on the list. If I want to take time for myself, or if I want to work out, exercise, even eat the food I want to eat, I got to get in where I fit in. I'm getting the scraps. I barely eat. I barely sleep. I don't have energy. If you can relate to any of those things, you DM me, mission accepted. Please take me. And
Get
then
this, coach.
put me on the list, put me in the game, coach. I need your help. And then we have that call for two reasons. You
Okay.
are judging, you are deciding if I am the coach for you, if my program is the program for you. But I'm also sometimes have to tell mom if you're under the care of a doctor, if you're, I have had somebody who had lupus and she was in a, in a situation at that time where she was actively being seen by a doctor. I'm like, you need to listen to what your doctor is saying and maybe join the next cohort. I've had moms like maybe was like doing radiology. I'm like, I need you to focus on what your doctor's saying, healing in that way before you put on our program. So I don't always say,
I
hey,
love that.
yeah, I don't do that because I have that counseling and health science background. That's the last thing I want to do is to add any stress or new trigger to what you already have going on.
Yeah.
But if your spirit is right, you don't mind the name Jesus being used, you cool with it. Even if you're a rich auntie and you like, I don't care about y'all talking about kids because I got 4 sisters and 28 nieces and nephews. I just want to get healthier. Then come aboard. And that's it. The beautiful thing is our program is 8 weeks, but they have lifetime access to the platform, the resources, and the workouts, even after their 8 weeks is over, and after their payments are over. So that's the kind of cool part. And we plan to have retreats and other things when the Lord allows me and releases me to do that in the future. So you jump on the call with me, tell me mission accepted, and then if you get an invitation, you lock in.
Okay, well, you all know where to find her. Also, I want to touch a little bit on this because you are a mom of 3. So, how do you balance it all? For the moms that's listening, you are your first customer. How do you balance it all?
Ooh wee, ooh wee. Good question. I don't believe
Just
in the
some
word
insight.
balance. I don't believe in the word balance. That's number one.
Okay.
I think balance is one of the biggest mental weights I let go of in 2018. Is one of
Okay.
the biggest mental weights that I teach something and I will have something that is under the guise of harmony. Uh, it might be a retreat, it might be a conference, it might be who knows. But I believe in harmony. So I believe that as moms, we're not gonna get everything perfectly balanced. You're not, unless you have some type of supernatural power that we ain't heard of. I do believe
That
it's
we might need.
right. Right. You need that power. That power does have balance in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. But we don't, right? We have the help of the one that has perfect balance. But so for me, that helps me because whenever I'm trying to have balance, I'm doing it out of my own strength. I'm stressing myself out. I'm not giving myself credit for my wins. I'm only looking at what I didn't do. So that's number one. That's how I find harmony is by releasing the desire to have balance. And then 2, I go with my own mom care routine. What do I need to do when I start feeling depleted? Right? What are the things that I enjoy doing? If I notice it's been a while since I've done X, Y, and Z, then I need to go back and do that.
So
And
you
then
have
I
it written out.
have it written down.
Okay.
We all have it written down. And not only that, those are the SOS moments. What does my routine look like? Have I made sure that I am on my routine? So 4 days out the week, I am in somebody's gym with a trainer, right? So 4 days a week, I'm with my trainer. The other 2 days, I'm at my local gym doing cardio because that endorphin, that win is an easy win for the morning. Now I've started, I'm up, and I usually listen to my Bible app on my way to the gym. So instead of me being, I need to be in my house for an hour, sitting down, having balance, I have my candle. Like that's not realistic. That's not realistic. But they do have technology, and there's a Bible on my phone. So I listen to my Bible app on the way to the gym. I've listened to that thing for 4 times 30. That's 2 hours more a week that I had for 3 years combined.
Yeah.
Trying to do it in this regimented, old-fashioned way. And whatever wherever your spiritual walk is at, whether it's listening to that podcast, meditating, having those sounds. And then when we talk about that routine, it's all about the morning and the evening. No matter how much I have to do, I work so hard to at least 75 to 85% of the time have a good bedtime routine. And I teach that to my moms in the
What
program.
does that look like?
Mm. Would you like to
Give
know?
us one. Give us one. Just one.
I have a really good bedtime routine. 100% of my moms improve their sleep and their energy level in 8 weeks. If they
Okay.
don't lose a single pound, they improve that. Okay. So
But
the
that's big.
it is
Sleep and energy.
yes, yes, yes. And then I stay on them afterwards. When I start seeing them in the morning, I'm like, you posted that at 12 a.m. What you was doing at 12 a.m.? Why was you up at 12 a.m.? Right?
Not holding them accountable. I
Yeah,
love.
yeah. I'm like, this says 4 hours ago, and I'm up to go to the gym. Why was you posting 4 hours ago? But one of the biggest things I can say without giving away the routine is that I treat myself like my children, and so you got to. What do you do? What do you do for your
Say
children?
that. Say it again. Say it again. They
I
missed
treat
it.
myself like my children. And when God looks down on your family and says, "Where are my kids at?" He doesn't just say, "Oh, the people under the age of 18." All of them, all of us are God's children. So neglecting yourself is just as bad as neglecting your children. Saying, I don't need sleep. I'm gonna stay up all night. I'm gonna eat fruit. I'm gonna eat snacks at the end of the day. I'm gonna have wine every single night. Whatever your thing is, if it's not leading you to a higher health and more dependence on your spirit and keeping yourself whole, you gotta find some help to start eliminating what that is for you. What does that look like for you? And what my problem is and my vices might not be your problem, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what I'll say. Currently, I'm dry. It's September. Me and my best friend like no wine, no margarita. I'm like, look at me. Right? And I'm a Christian. Okay, before you
Yeah.
start, but that's something that I have to push myself. And I struggle with like, oh my God, I just want one glass to relax. Like, no, you don't need that one glass to relax. Go to sleep, drink some tea, drink a smoothie. Right?
See,
Pray.
I drink it. People look at me like I'm crazy. Like I don't drink. But that's
I love it because everyone has their thing. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's why it's so important that things are tailored. I love Weight Watchers and Loom and all these programs. It's great. But as moms, we need someone to come in and figure out what my problem is. What do I need to start with? Because
My problem like theirs.
yeah, you might sleep. That might not be your problem, but you might not eat. Or someone else might eat healthy and they're not sleeping. Or someone else is worrying, the other person, I don't worry at all, I'm good. Whereas the other person doesn't go outside. You stay in your house all day, you haven't had fresh air in 4 days.
That messes with your mental a lot within itself.
Yeah. So it's all different. It's all prescriptive to who you are. But the way I do it is I try my best to have a routine. I try my best to treat myself like my children. And I
Whoa.
my body. So this is like I have things on my desk. Like I chart out my week because I get my very scatterbrain. I have all my things on my desk. Like I just try to keep myself, on my own to-do list.
Yeah.
If you could see this, you would see that I have probably can't see it. I have train on the top of my calendar. So I have my training days on my calendar. I have your podcast on here. So I'm not, oh, if I get to it or if I get enough sleep. No, I gotta go to bed because I gotta be 30 minutes away and have energy to be 30 minutes away tomorrow at 6 a.m. Right?
You'll do it with your kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do it for our kids.
Yeah.
You do it for your kids. You got your kids in all these activities, and who drives them? You. So if anything, my kids are surprised. They are weirded out. Like, what are you doing here? If I'm not at the gym in the morning, they're like, what are you doing here? Like, my 3-year-old will literally say, Mommy, what are you doing?
Why are you here?
Yeah, like that doesn't even make any sense to her. It doesn't even like she don't even like it. She in the morning, and for me, I had to get away from that value I placed in me being the first one she called, the first one she saw. I'm not her dad. I'm not.
Yeah. And then that gives dad a chance too, because sometimes the husband, we overcrowd them, or like you said, we make their kids, mommy becomes the crutch, so dad can't even help if he wants to, and that causes frustration and friction with the parenting and marriage and things like that. So I like that. So moms, we need to get away.
Get away, just go, girl.
Dad.
Have I told you all the things? I mean, all of that. I mean, my moms have a designated day. It's regimented. This is not just up in the air. Like, no, it's regimented. Like, what day is it going to be? Same day every week. What are you going to do during that day? Like, no, we're planning it out. Like, it's a mom care routine because if you get your routine together, then you are always on the list.
Yeah, and everybody gets used to it.
Everyone gets used to it.
Yeah. And like you said, the 3-year-old, hey, why are you here? I don't
What are
want to
you
see
doing?
you.
What are you doing here? Like, no. Every time I try to do bath times, my husband works from 12:30 to 8:30, 12 to 8:30. Every time I try to do bath time, it takes me an hour. It takes me an hour because they're like playing, mommy's here, and da 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 da. Meanwhile, daddy be like pop, pop, pop. Lotion, lotion is what's it called? Is uh not mandatory, optional. Lotion optional, but they get in the bed when they're supposed to get in the bed. And if there's no lotion on there, it's okay. I just slap some on the next day, and then they ain't been to a hospital yet for lack of lotion or dehydration of the skin.
We can't make a big fuss about
They
it.
can't make a big fuss about it, and they literally get the best experience. My dad ain't never gave me a bath my whole life.
The way daddy does it is okay because that is daddy's way. And then you have
And they love it. They love that man.
they
My man, thank you to my man.
they love the way daddy does it. Quick, quick, quick. But mommy, don't try it. Don't
Don't you dare. You need to sing 5 songs and get 18 hugs, okay?
10 back rubs.
Downstairs, I'm like, how you get down here so fast? Listen, yeah.
But we're almost at our time. But I've truly enjoyed this interview. And moms, I hope you have too. So just to recap, we have the lift where you lighten the load, you ignite the spark, which I think that's my favorite one. And then give me F&T again, please.
You embrace a freedom mindset.
Okay.
And take your turn. So you got to take your turn, mom. You got to get out of the idea that you don't even get a turn. That's you wait till the kids get older. You wait till the season is right. You wait till the time is right. The time ain't never gonna be right. You the one that manages the family calendar. So therefore, I need you to put yourself on it. Give yourself a turn. Once you do it, I'm telling you right now, it will feel like it was never any other way.
Give yourself a turn. I thought this interview was going to go totally different. I thought we were going down the meal planning, what we need to eat, and all that stuff.
That's the easy part. All of that is that. Well, let me not say the easy part. That part, once you realize you matter, once you decide you're gonna take your turn, everybody gonna eat the same food. We all eating chicken breast and vegetables. Like it's that part is like that part is the easy part. But the most important part is if you love your children, you gotta stop hurting their mother. You gotta stop hurting their mother and putting them on the back burner.
Woo.
That's it. Once you figure that out, then you'll make time. You'll make time for yourself. You do the things because you matter. Like imagine your house without you.
What house?
What house? Exactly, right? So you gotta stop that saying that self-sabotage or self-forgetfulness is being some type of martyr for motherhood. That's not what God has for you.
Yeah. I received that. I hope you all received that. Thank you so much, Precious, for joining us and dropping so many gems. We're going to leave out with don't hurt your kid's mother. Do not stop hurting your kid's mom. That's you hurting you. So this was another awesome episode on Let Kids Play podcast. Be sure to go to Precious IG on the bottom. Make sure you join the Moms on a Mission. It opens up October 1st. There's only 8 seats, y'all. Only 8 seats. And I know after this episode, a lot of you are going to be running to the website to join. So make sure you grab your spots October 1st. You can go on her IG or just send her SOS through the DM like, hey.
Yeah. And if the 8 seats go away in October, we come back again in January. So you can put a deposit down and be prepared for that as well. So we got you. We're not gonna there's no mom left behind. Okay.
No mom left behind. I like that. All right. We'll talk to you on the next episode.